Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some Ripple versus SC updates with some updates from James K. Fallon, look at some Johnny Deaton tweet threads that are quite interesting, and then we're going to cover a little bit of what John Deaton had in his crypto law 4-year anniversary from the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech that was given. So he has like a little clip here that is quite interesting. And then we're also going to take a look at some digital perspective stuff. And he had put up a small segment within that same Johnny Deaton live stream that he had. Stefan Huber has an interesting take in regards of the XRP breaks out against Ethereum and kind of how he was talking about the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance filed a lawsuit when this happened in the past. So what's going to happen at this point? And then an update from Ben Armstrong in regards of the Celsius network. And then we're just going to take a look at what Blockworks had tweeted here in regards of Bill Gates. If we come over here to CoinGecko, we're currently sitting under $1 trillion market cap. So like I've told you in previous videos, I've seen this as low as 100. I think it was like 98 billion, but I've seen it as low as 100 billion back in, I think it was like 2018 sometime, could be 2019, I can't remember. But I've been here since late 2017. So yeah, I've seen this way less than this. But you know, to see this under $1 trillion market cap is, I know it's causing a lot of fear, a lot of turmoil within the markets. But as you can see, we're up 0.14%. I think this was in the 800 billions early this morning. If you come down here, you can see Bitcoin sitting at 21,914. I just want to take a look at this real quick and see how it's been holding up in the past 24 hours. As you can see, we had a low. Let's see what the 24-hour low is. The 24-hour low was 20,193, and the high is 22,000. So I mean, we're ranging. I can't remember what the previous market cycle top was, but I think it's fairly close. If not, it's almost hitting the past previous cycle market top, which has never been done, which is kind of interesting to see. You can see Ethereum sitting at 1192, and then coming down here, seeing XRP sitting at 32 cents, up 5.1%. So there's a little bit of gainers here. If we come over here, look at the top gainers. Basic attention token, look at that, 25.4%. This one's been around for some time. Elron, 17.3%. Uniswap, 15.2%. And so on. If we come over here, this is one of the most interesting things from this video is I've never seen this under 8. Obviously, we've seen 8, I want to say like 3 times in this market entirety, if I'm not mistaken. But to see it at 7, man, there is a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. There's just so much uncertainty in this market. And obviously, this is one of the big telltales right here is 75 basis points. Fed hikes its benchmark interest rate up 75%, 75 percentage point, the biggest increase since 1994. So the market's responding to that. And there was a little bit of positivity. Obviously, we have a little bit of green. But this is still like, you know, the Jerome Powell inflation and stuff that's going on in the United States. Obviously, we have geopolitical stuff that's going on around the world. You know, you have a lot of different stuff that's happening within our space, you know, a lot of negative narratives and stuff. Obviously, you have Celsius. We had the Terra Luna and the USTD pegging and the crash with that. Now we have Celsius Network going through their stuff, which we're going to cover later in the video in regards of Ben Armstrong. But it's like there's so many different things that are causing this extreme fear within the market. Quite honestly, from my experience being in this market since late 2017, kind of getting, you know, other investor sentiment, you know, people that's been investing in the regular stock market for, you know, decades, this is typically the time. Personally, this is how I do it from my personal portfolio allocation is this is the time when you start accumulating. And yeah, there may not be a bottom, and some people might say you're trying to catch a falling knife or whatever the case is. But if you look at the prices, if you come and look at the prices, and you know from where they've been the past, you know what, year and a half. I mean, this is a steal. I mean, to see one of my favorite assets, you know, sitting at 33 cents, which I had a buy order in these ranges, and some of it's gotten filled, which is a blessing for me. But whether we go further down or not doesn't matter. At these points, I have high conviction within the space, within the assets I invest in. So to get them at these prices is just a true blessing. So with this extreme fear, I mean, literally before we know it, we can literally be on the other side of this and being in extreme greed. So we're going to move on here. James K. Fallon had an update yesterday. It says the SEC has filed under seal a redacted version of the brief in its exhibits opposing the amici motion to participate in the Daubert challenge. It's now up to District Judge Torres to decide what will be public and what will remain under seal. XRP Crypto Wolf hit it on the head. He says Judge Torres doesn't give the SEC what they want, like Judge Netburn. So this is good news. So hopefully we do kind of get some some positive. I mean, like most of the stuff being public. Hopefully we get that kind of that kind of good news coming out. Fred Rispoli tends to tweet some great things as well. He says, unclear to me how Judge Torres will rule on this. Nothing I have seen on social media rose to the level of, quote, threat, in my opinion. But based on how social media operates, I would probably bank on the fact that there are posts that rise to the necessary level of concern, which is too bad. So it is what it is. We'll kind of see. James K. Fallon will keep us up to date on these motions and kind of what's going on with the documentations within litigation. But we're going to continue to follow what's going on, obviously, with the Ripple versus SC case. Moving on here, Johnny Deaton says, yesterday I asked the question, why didn't Jay Clayton do more to clear up the ambiguity and foster innovation by providing regulatory clarity, considering he had the votes with Hester Pierce and Elad Roisman? This is a letter from 16 members of Congress begging for clarity. So you can kind of come in here and take a look at this. You want to pause it and take a look at kind of what he's talking about here. And there goes the signatures there. So coming down here, he put he's referencing crypto siege or DeFi practitioner, Flare enthusiast. But this is a segment from Johnny Deaton's Crypto Law live stream that he had the other day. So let's take a listen to this.
Is this, JW just mentioned Hester Peirce is safe harbor. And this is the 4th year anniversary, show on this speech. Instead of giving this speech, why didn't they just adopt that safe harbor where it said you have 3 to 5 years to meet these markers? And Ripple, if you don't meet these markers, or ETH, you don't meet these markers, then you have to register. If you do, it is, great. And you go on and you're sufficiently decentralized or whatever language. Why was that not adopted under Chairman Clayton? He had the votes. He had Elad Roisman and he had Hester Peirce. I don't know. Do you know the answer to that question?
I got to pass that one to JW. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think you're going to talk more about this later, but, obviously I think that it's come to be that we know now that Mr. Hinman probably had some ulterior motives for that speech, maybe jumped the gun and didn't have the backing that maybe he needed in order to really get the commissioner's views out there. But I don't know.
JW, any thoughts? I know you have a hard stop soon.
Sure. I know Jay a long time. I disagreed with him on his approach to crypto. Believe me, I had a lot of private conversations with him during the ICO era where I said, I don't like some things happening in some of these ICOs. I love to get a crypto-specific regulatory regime. Hester's safe harbor hadn't been out yet. I wish it had. I would have been arguing for that. But I had a lot of tough conversations with him because it was the one area where I just glaringly disagreed with him. I don't know Hinman. I don't know what Hinman was about, so I can't tell you that. I think Jay's heart was in the right place. I don't think he had any nefarious intent. I think he was just risk averse. It was a new thing, and he was a classic regulation guy, and he didn't want to try anything new. And it was a mistake, and it was the wrong decision. I don't think there was anything unethical about him. I just don't know Bill. I mean, I don't like the optics of what happened here. What I've seen so far from what In Power has taken out, it seemed like he didn't comply with the ethics requirements, and that's a problem. I don't think that's on Jay. I think that's on Bill. I don't know.
So that's kind of what was happening in that segment there. And if you haven't watched Johnny Deaton's Crypto Law live stream that he had the other day, go to Crypto Law, I think it's Crypto Law TV, and check out that video. I mean, it's about 45 minutes, and it's just solid information. Johnny Deaton did a great job hosting that. And they had Eleanor Terrett, I think that's her name. Yeah, Eleanor, or they call her Ellie. And then they also had, who was the other? I'm blanking on the name. Maybe we'll pull it up here in the next one. But yeah, it was just a great segment overall, a great show. Moving on here, Johnny Deaton's responding to Crypto Law says SC responds to the Freedom of Information Act request by John Deaton with the production of congressional letters sent to Jay Clayton. It shouldn't be this difficult to get copies of letters from members of Congress to the SEC. Gary Gensler is flat out protecting incumbents. Jay Clayton could have helped foster the fourth industrial revolution when in charge. Instead, today he writes how the SEC must get it right. Yeah, this is interesting right here. He says, at 7 p.m. we talk about this. So I've talked about this. I've actually put this in one of my thumbnails on one of our recent videos. But this is the Ethereum price after the Ethereum Free Pass speech by Bill Hinman, or William Hinman. And there was two gentlemen that were on the same exact stage that were having a conversation of, just about markets and stuff. And they had this in the background. They both turned around and one of them was like, whoa, like this is, and then they even stated like something along the lines of like, this is why insider trading is like forbidden and a no type thing. And pretty much they were saying like, this is what's happened just because of, William Hinman going on stage giving Bitcoin and Ethereum that regulatory free pass. So they're gonna have Johnny D is gonna have a conversation at 7 p.m. about this. I'm thinking he's gonna have it maybe on his YouTube channel, Crypto Law TV. So we'll kind of keep you up to date on what's going on there. But speaking of, this is kind of it's kind of like a transition into kind of what this is talking about here. It says Johnny Deaton laying down straight fire. This is from Digital Perspectives. If you ever wanted to know what this is all about, here it is on a platter. So let's take a listen into this.
But there's this ethical legacy that is very active, that's lingering, that when Bill Hinman gave this speech, you all saw the chart, and you heard Jeremy Hogan say, scratch his head. Why did they gratuitously, all of a sudden, one day, they'll never talk about a token, they'll never talk about a specific platform, but on June 14th, 2018, Bill Hinman's going to get up on that stage and he's going to say Bitcoin is not a security, ETH is not a security, and talk about these things, and then never address another token thereafter. Why? Because from that moment, you scratched your head. Like, why are they singling out Ether? It had an ICO. He said, well, forget the fundraising, but how does it apply to any other token? And we never got answers. And so people started asking questions. People started looking into these potential personal conflicts. And it's fair to say that in this case, there are what I have called massive conflicts of interest and gross appearances of impropriety. We're going to talk here in a minute, but I want everyone to take a look at this email from the person in charge of the ethics office at the SEC to Bill Hinman. This is courtesy of my next guest, Jason Foster of Empower, but read it. Right? It lets him know you have a bar under the criminal financial conflict. You are not allowed to even talk to Simpson Thatcher. And what did Bill Hinman do? He met with them 3 more times that we've documented from after receiving this stern warning that he could be in violation of the criminal conflict laws of the.
So that's the other gentleman that was on there alongside Eleanor Tarrant, Johnny Deaton, Jeremy Hogan was on there, J.W. Verrett, and then Jason Foster from Empower Oversight. But I mean, literally, so this is what's happened after the William Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech, and then if we come over here, if I can pull it up in here real quick, right here, then you have William Hinman from the ethics office here sent this to him pretty much saying, hey, no, this is right here. You can even just look at this. It's also serious optics issues. Like even that is just bad in itself, but he wasn't even supposed to have conversations or interaction with them, but you're going to meet with them. Crazy. Moving on here, Stefan Huber put up this great tweet here. It says, XRP breaks out against Ethereum. The last time this happened, the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, so the EEA, filed the lawsuit against Ripple. So they're kind of showing the difference here. So I know blockchain background had put up a couple videos recently, and he was talking about XRP breaking out against Ethereum. And if you're looking to get some TA, whether you follow blockchain background or not, he has some great technical analysis. And then he also views obviously past market cycle stuff, and he looks at kind of what's going on within the times, within the news, the media, and how the regular stock market influences kind of what happens in our market. So he kind of does a little bit of everything in regards to trying to formulate his own analysis of kind of where things are going from where we've been, and he kind of talks about it. So I highly recommend you go check out his channel as well. Now the talk of the town here with the Celsius Network stuff. So Celsius Network is going through a lot of stuff, and they're talking about, obviously it was down, I think it's like over 70-80% or something, the Celsius token or whatever, but them halting withdrawals from their clients, so-called to protect the network. They're saying they're putting the clients and integrity first, but they can't withdraw their stuff, which is crazy. But they're comparing what's happening with Celsius Network to the Terra Luna stuff. So Ben Armstrong's been on kind of like this little rage here. It says, today we will be in the process of bringing a class action lawsuit against Celsius Network and Alex Mashinsky. More details in coming days. So there's been some mixed signals from the community. If you go through these tweet threads, some people saying, why are you doing this? Let them try to fix it. And there's other people saying, I have a lot of money wrapped into there. I hope this isn't true. So I just kind of wanted to update the community. Ben Armstrong has a massive following. He has I think he has like over 1.5 million on YouTube, and he has a crap ton of followers. Says almost 1 million followers on Twitter. So huge community, huge following. So for him to put this out there, I mean, I think he means business here. So we're going to kind of follow this Celsius Network stuff and Ben Armstrong so-called class action lawsuit that's supposed to be forming. I wanted to touch on this from Blockworks. It says in 1995, Bill Gates gets mocked for believing in the new technology, the internet. In 2022, Bill Gates mocks the new tech, crypto. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is just to kind of reiterate, you have to fend for yourself out there, okay? Whenever it comes to you investing your hard-earned money for you and your family, you got to make sure that you are vetting projects, companies, businesses, people for your own self. So educate yourself on, who's behind it, who's building, do they have real use case and utility? Have they had some staying power? Have they kind of withstand, the ebbs and flows of markets, especially when it comes to this crypto asset? Because, if you follow your favorite entrepreneur, your favorite businessman or woman, or your favorite YouTuber or, Twitter sleuth or, Twitter personality, and you just blindly follow them on their opinion, you could be someone that can be following Bill Gates in this time, kind of mocking crypto, and you can be missing out on, the next big thing, and especially in comparison to the internet. The growth has already surpassed the internet. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Make sure you do everything in your power to educate yourself and formulate a decision that works best for you and your family. Okay, don't make your decisions based off of what your favorite, favorite person on the internet is saying. Educate yourself on everything. But that's kind of the update I wanted to cover. Make sure that you follow us and subscribe, here to Crypto is Key. We're going to continue to bring you solid content, cover the Ripple versus SC stuff, and obviously cover what's going on in the entire market and kind of spark up a conversation. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate it. We're really excited to keep growing these accounts, and I really like having these conversations and putting this stuff out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.